Good morning, dear hearts. We are in lesson 236. I rule my mind, which I alone must rule. We could really spend the whole time simply on the title of this lesson because it is so significant. To say I rule my mind is that I am taking responsibility for it, and which I alone must rule. Also, continuing of that responsibility and the realization that there is no one else. There's no one else outside of me to rule my mind. There is no one else that can be in control of my thoughts. All of my thoughts, the good thoughts or the bad thoughts, they are all my responsibility. So I rule my mind. I'm in charge of my mind. And it's depending which mind am I in charge of, which mind am I choosing to have as the mind I want to rule. Is it my holy mind, or is it my ego mind? Is it that split mind? As we know that our mind is split when we have believed in the separation that caused the chasm. So, which mind am I going to rule? The lesson starts by saying, I have a kingdom I must rule. Now let's change that word kingdom to world. I have a world. I'm in charge of this world. And how am I in charge of this world? By my mind and what I think and what thoughts I project or extend onto my world. And it says at times, it does not seem that I am its king, its ruler at all. That world, it seems to triumph over me and tell me what to think and what to do and to feel. Yes, it does. It feels that way when I am experiencing myself in the ego world. It feels like it is going to rule over me. It's going to be the one in charge because it is filled. It's filled with temptations and things that I desire, things that I want. So it lures me. And as it lures me, as the ego lures me away out of my right mind, I think that was the Buster comment, it rules me out of my right mind, then I don't feel in charge anymore. I feel like a little cog in a machine being twisted and turned, or a pinball. You ever play a pinball machine and that little ball goes this way and that way and bounces off of walls and springs and you're trying to control it? That's how I feel when I'm in my ego mind, that I am being pushed and pulled every which way. I can't possibly feel like I'm in charge then. And yet, I'll let him teach. And yet, it has been given me to serve whatever purpose I perceive in it. And there it is. What thoughts am I placing onto this world? Because whatever I do is do put onto the world, whichever world, that's going to be my experience, what I perceive in it. My mind can only serve, and my mind can only serve one master, not two. I cannot serve two masters. I cannot serve the ego and the Holy Spirit. So my mind can only serve. And today I give its service to the Holy Spirit to employ as He sees fit. I thus direct my mind, which I alone can rule. I must be the one who decides, and thus I set it free to do the will of God. So I must rule my mind. I must decide. Today I am going to decide to align my mind and decide with the Holy Spirit and let the Holy Spirit be in charge. Be you in charge. To the Holy Spirit I say today, be you in charge. There are many lessons, previous lessons, that we can see playing into this, that my thoughts are images that I have made, and I have no neutral thoughts. Two of the lessons from the first 50, and the fact that I have no neutral thoughts. And it starts by saying the idea well, no, let's go to the second paragraph. There's no more self-contradictory concept than that of idle thoughts. What gives rise to the perception of a whole world can hardly be called idle. And this is the beginning step in dispelling the belief that our thoughts have no effect. My thoughts are going to affect the world I see and the world that I am in charge of. Um, I don't know where he is. The prayer portion says, Father, my mind is open to your thoughts and closed today to every thought but yours. I love that line. I think it's the most, there's only 3 lines in the prayer portion, but I think this is such an important line. This is so important that the realization, my mind is open. Father, my mind is open, but it's open to your thoughts, and I want it today to be closed to the thoughts that come from anywhere else. Only your thoughts do I want to come into my mind. And when that happens, when I've set that boundary that only God's thoughts, then I rule my mind and offer it to you and accept my gift, for it is yours to me. The kingdom, the world that I will experience, that I will be part of, is determined by the thoughts that I allow into my mind, and I am the one who determines that. I rule my mind, and I'm the only one that can do that. I rule my mind, which I alone must rule. I'm in charge. The power of decision is your own. Another wonderful lesson. So that's it for today. Please like, please share, please subscribe, please comment, please pray. Beautiful sunflowers that we have. And know that our prayers are always answered. And I'm going to go see what is happening with Buster. Namaste.